Climate change is widespread, rapid, and intensifying. Scientists are observing changes in the Earth's climate in every region and across the whole climate system. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC Working Group 1 co-chair Pan Moazieng, climate change is already affecting every region on Earth in multiple ways. The changes we experience will increase with additional warming. Mayor of Freetown Yvonne Aki-Sawyerr shared her thoughts on the ongoing climate crisis on Channel 4 News.
I got involved in politics because of climate change, in my case specifically because of environmental degradation, the cutting down of trees in our protected areas, and the sanitation, because in the developing world, one of our biggest emitters is actually waste. 3 years on, I know and I've experienced firsthand that in as much as you can take steps forward, so for example, in Freetown, the tree town, is our plan to plant 1 million trees. And it's not just a plan, it is actually in process. But for us to do that, I boldly stood on a stage and did a launch on the 3rd of January 2020 without a penny in the city's coffers and said, we're going to plant 1 million trees. However, as you plant, so there are other pressures which continue to cut down. So in the Global South, the experience of this summer, which has really been a wake-up call for the West, really seeing what we've seen on our TVs, flash floods in London, fires in Turkey and in Greece. We've been experiencing that in the Global South for a number of years. Climate change has hit those who are emitting less sooner than those who are emitting more. And so when we talk about the money, we must also talk about money for adaptation. Money for those countries who aren't emitting, but need to actually adapt the way that life is done, the cities are built, to have sea defenses, to plant more trees.
Stabilizing the climate will require strong, rapid, and sustained reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and reaching net zero CO2 emissions. Mayor Yvonne Aki-Sawyerr elated on steps taken by the Freetown City Council in improving the city's resilience to the crisis.
We're seeking to jump past a mass transit system, which is a fuel guzzler or which is fuel inefficient, energy inefficient, to going to a cable car. But 3 years down the road, and a lot of hard work down the road, we still don't have the money for the feasibility study because of the way international finance works. Our story, the one that I often point to, happened on the 14th of August 2017, literally just a couple of months after I made the decision to run for mayor. And we had a mudslide. We had 3 days of non-stop rain, which was more than the rain of a month. And as a consequence, and obviously the scientists have different sort of additional information that they would give you, but in less than 5 minutes, we lost 1,000 people in a mudslide. The last house that went under the mud was one house from where I used to live. I had moved 2 weeks before. And so I had calls coming. I wasn't then the mayor, I was just running. And I was one of the first people on the scene, literally shaking. It's a scene that we can never forget. There's a big hole in the mountain still, and it will be there for a long time. But for me, it's a constant reminder of the urgency of what we're talking about. And I know that all over the world, these reminders exist. I know that there are many kids who can no longer go to school because of flooding their communities. I know that there are many cities which experience what I'm experiencing.
Madam Sawyerr has, however, been widely praised for her pioneering approach to climate change and will be putting forward a plan for action at the COP26 summit in Glasgow this autumn. She had earlier on Wednesday, 4th August 2021, met with the Mayor of London and discussed the city's agenda for COP26. For Star News, I am Moses Ojukamara.